Big Sills. And yes, thank you very much for you guys. Hey, as hardcore as you people are in here, thank you very much for the understanding of yesterday. We had a little family issue here with the wife in a car, and everything is good. We're all great. We're moving forward. The wrecker's coming to get my Hummer. Can I say that here on TV? The wrecker's coming for my Hummer. Man, I love that thing. Hey, thank you, Sue. It's all good. It's all good, you know. Wife was bitching as usual. Where is this thing? Hey, man, ask Xander, he'll tell you. Hope nothing too serious happened to you yesterday in the fam. Thank you very much. You know what? You guys are so obnoxious and so great. And you know who you are? You're me. Even you, Sue. Hey, Devin, thank you, man. You guys are great. You guys really are. Thank you so much, man. Look at Keon. Hey, man. Okay, enough pleasantries. Hey, Keon, I can't have you like this. Okay? Hey, JM, we know this. Hey, Colin, listen. Okay, guys, stop it. Now I'm feeling weird. Hey, put aside the shit talking. Glad. Thank you very much, N91. Thank you, man. Yeah, man, you guys are great. You guys are great. Okay, please stop. I'm going to think all of you need to be DNA checked. Okay? All right? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, man. Hey, stop it. I'm going to lose respect for some of you here. Thank you very much. I mean it, man. First thing Tone did too. Tone, people are showing their true side of who they are. Or no, wait, half the side of who they are. Most people that come in here and talk to me every day, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. I know. I'm feeling very uncomfortable here. Okay? Now say something so we can rip you again. There we go. Come on, Keon. I need you guys to get back to going here and again. There you go, man. All right. Hey, listen. I got to say this, man. You have a goat. Big Sales, I'm sorry I couldn't be here for you yesterday. All good, brother. All good, man. You guys are totally great. Totally great. You guys have a dog. You have a... Major League Baseball is not must-see television. Enough of the nice stuff. Show sucks. Let's get started. Hey, man, Bryce Harper is a dog. Okay? He is an absolute dog. Okay? An absolute dog. He is totally a dog. Those stare downs. Can I tell you, when I watch a Phillies game, it's like watching an Eagle game. It's like watching an Eagle game. It really is. It's like watching the Eagles, man. That crowd was awesome. Talking shit. Who do you think in Philadelphia right now is more revered? Bryce Harper or Jalen Hurts? When you look at those two athletes, man, is there another city in America that has guys like those two dudes? Let me think. Boston? Do you have anybody in Boston like that right now? Nobody with the Patriots. Maybe one of the Celtic guys? No, you know what? And the Bruins? No. Chicago? No. Los Angeles? Must see Shohei Ohtani? Chargers? Maybe. Or I mean, dude, you have two of the greatest must-see athletes in American sports today. That's a tough one. They are neck and neck. Depends on the day. Bryce Harper was sensational. I thought I was watching Reggie Jackson last night. I did. I thought I was watching Reggie Jackson. That thing was insane last night. 2 bombs last night. Have you ever seen a guy with a lower pulse in big moments than Bryce Harper? That dude, man, he is made for those moments. It looks like he was born in those moments. That's impressive. And you know what? I'm not going to sit around and talk baseball here, but what I am going to say, man, guys who shine in moments that are so stress moments and yet they look so calm is just uncommon. Like watching Jordan play, you know? It's like watching Brady play or Tiger play. Bryce Harper's got that quality of Tiger Woods to him. He just looks like I was born for this. Now, Quan, you're right. You could rename the World Series trophy after Reggie Jackson. Okay? Totally correct. You could in theory name the World Series trophy after Reggie on how great he performed. 358 or some whatever it was. All those home runs he hit, all the championships he won in Oakland and with the Yankees. Absolutely no question about it. Jackson was made for those moments too. He was a signature piece for the World Series. And Reggie, the difference between him and Harper is clearly Reggie crossed the finish line in those great World Series, and he was a star of all those teams. Crazy, man. But watching Harper last night was absolutely insane. I mean, 2 bombs in the NLDS versus Atlanta. Hey, how about the Atlanta media? Man, I got to tell you something. You guys are goats when it comes to treating opposing teams coming into your buildings. Did you see, what was her name? What was her name? Say, like some chick media reporter was complaining about her purse getting wet because they left the sprinklers on the Brave side. Pretty tacky. And I'm going like, hey, welcome to Philly. Did you think everything was going to be like, rosy for you when you came into the building? Man, I love that. Hey, relax here. All right, let's get into some football here. Thursday night football tonight, too, to start week 6 of the National Football League. Hey, welcome to Philly. She didn't like the sprinklers. At the stadium, Philly fans were screaming, we want Schneider. Hey, man, that's a great crowd. God, I love that place. Man, you guys are so my kind of fans. Bryce Harper's tied with Chipper Jones for the most National League Division Series home runs. Dude, there's just something about Harper, man. There's just something about Harper. He's got a Manny Ramirez quality about him where how many times you see Manny in those moments, man, just knocking the cover off the baseball? He was a weirdo. Broncos fire sale begins tonight. That could help the Eagles here in a minute. All right, let's get into this here. Folks, are you ready for, are you ready to be once again? Oh, I have to tell you what happened. Today on the program was supposed to be Chris Sims. He had another engagement he had to hit, especially after I found out the disrespect that he threw out this morning. We're going to have Seth Joyner at the bottom of the hour, okay? So Seth will be here for us. The segment with Tone and Jason Cole at 4:30. But he had an emergency. Get this. He had an emergency meeting he had to go to. But he dropped this nugget for you, Eagle fans. Are you ready? Him and Florio do a show, right? You know they do a show, emergency. Yeah, okay. Mike Florio has 24-23 New York Jets upsetting the Philadelphia Eagles. Chris Sims, 28-17. Eagles. Mike Florio thinks the Jets are going to beat you Sunday. Okay? Yeah, look at Keon. He goes, I knew he wasn't coming on. He's been on twice. It's not like he's not been here. Always remember, Ed Reed's the only one you can get me on. Ed Reed is the only one. Twiz, where the hell are you? Ed Reed is the only one you could get me on. Mike Florio thinks the Jets are going to upset the Eagles Sunday in New York. Emergency gynecologist. The first time in the history of the New York Jets, they're going to beat the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. I went like this to Florio when I was talking to both those guys today. I said, Mike, you really think that guy, Zach Wilson, he goes, yeah, because I don't really think much of that Philadelphia pass defense. I said, well, they were better against Stafford. So you think Zach Wilson's going to do a better job against the Philadelphia Eagle pass defense than what Stafford could in the second half especially? He goes, yeah, let's see him do it. And I went, all right. I said, okay. So they're splitting that right now between the both of them. Mike Florio thinks the Jets are winning. All right. Here's where I'm going this, and here's where we're going here. I think this Jets game is maybe one of the most important games of the season. How important do you guys think this New York Jets game is to you? I'm going to make a point why I think it's very important. How important is this Jets-Eagles game to the Philadelphia Eagles? I hear a lot of people in the media going like this. Hey, man, this is going to be a blowout. I really don't, it's not going to be a meaningful game. I'm with Tone. Every game's meaningful. Got to stack wins together. Super important, Dirty D, to show how Jalen Hurts plays against top defenses like Purdy and the Browns. Hard part of the there you Breed. Breed is trap game, Dirty. Hey, all of this is great. Home field, Quan. All right. This is why I think this game is maybe one of the more important games on the schedule. Look at what you have coming up after this Jets game. Dolphins, Commanders, who for whatever reason, the last two games have been giving you fits. Have they not? The last two games, the Commanders have been giving you fits. That's not going to be a walk in the park. Then you got Cowboys. Then you got the bye, I believe. Then you got Chiefs, Bills, and 49ers. Look, guys, you got to play a complete game one day. You got to play a complete game. You haven't yet. Now, again, you're 5-0. That's the silver lining in this. You're not 3-2. You're not 4-1. You're 5-0. And you have yet to play a full game. Or do some of you think you've played a full game? You got to play a complete ball game eventually, don't you? When? Because you're going to get into games against that Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49er run. That's going to really test and see who you are. I'm not saying, get this, I'm not saying you can't beat any one of those teams. But you're not going to beat any one of those teams, including the Dolphins, playing only 30 minutes of football. Okay? Senor says, played 5 full games so far. Absolutely not. You have not played good football. The 49ers have played good football. And pretty much each and every single game that they've played in, you have not. You've had a half. Because you can't close teams out yet. That's my point. You can't close. The 49ers closed out the Cowboys. They closed the Cowboys out. They put their third team guys in. You've not been able to do that to any opponent, let alone an opponent that's pretty decent in Dallas. You're not pulling starters. You have to play 60 minutes of ball because your football team does not know how to close teams out. Okay? By the third quarter, they didn't even play the fourth quarter. Shit. I think maybe they even pulled their starters in the third, the 49ers. You got to play a complete ball game. Okay? You got to play. I'm going to bring this up with Seth here in a couple minutes. That's a concern, man. You know why you haven't played 60 minutes of ball? Because you're kicking field goals. Because you're kicking field goals. We played 64% of full Eagle potential football. Sure. By the way, great reminder by my friend Tone here. Don't forget, we're qualifying everybody right now for the Hooters gift certificates and the giveaways. And we so appreciate everybody making it happen. All you have to do is identify the code word. You end up emailing us, dansilioshow@gmail.com. We will get the gift certificates to you. We name a winner on a football Monday, each and every single Monday. Our great friends at Hooters in the 40th anniversary of that great restaurant. We appreciate those guys being part of the program so much. So you identify the code word throughout the entire 4 hours of the program. All you have to do is send your information to that email, and you can be like Mike and Don and win those gift certificates. Very simple. We do it Tuesday through Friday, so you still have an opportunity if you miss out today. Don't forget dansilioshow@gmail.com. We so appreciate it. First quarter of every season, I would say this to you, that the Eagles right now, that was a good second half against the Rams. I think it's going to be very interesting to see if they can put another performance together where they're going to be able to play 60 minutes. This Jets team is not horrible. They're still hanging in there at 2-3. Could they sneak in the back door? I'll say one thing about the teams that are sitting at 2-3 in the AFC. I think somebody said it yesterday. You know, the AFC is not as advertised as what I thought it was going to be. I thought the AFC was going to be a lot better than the NFC. Would we agree? Who are the top two teams in the AFC if you were to say right now? Miami and who? Sills, I agree with you. I would love to see how we trade for a red zone running back, maybe like Derrick Henry. As a matter of fact, I didn't get a chance to get to those names, and we're going to get to those names after Seth. We're going to talk about something like that. I don't believe, once again, that's not the MO of the Eagles and how they operate. They're going to be looking for somebody with low economics involved with it, but still has some gas in the tank, maybe somebody younger. I think it's going to be interesting to see what he does. I think they will be in the market for a running back. The Philadelphia Eagles right now, if I were to say one thing that they don't have on that team, they don't have a power game inside the red zone. They just don't. You don't score touchdowns. How can you be the second-ranked team in the NFL when it comes to running the ball and you don't have a power game inside the red zone? You don't run the ball well inside the red zone. You don't throw the ball well inside the red zone. And the numbers are this. You don't score touchdowns in the red zone. You do none of that. And that's why you're behind San Francisco. I mean, one of the things that you go back and if you start watching the 22, and the thing that I would like to see happen, throw that football up for AJ. Let him go get that. Get him. I say he wins 70% out of every jump ball. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you? Chris goes, Derrick Henry's done. How could a guy be done that had 1,500 yards last year? And by the way, Chris, if you spot played him and you put him on the goal line and you put him in the red zone and didn't give him the ball 33 times, I would take Derrick Henry with this number. 8 carries, 10 carries, 5.2 yards a game, 55 yards. I'm good with that because you know why? In the red zone, That's all I need him for. Because Swift has got it from 20 to 20. We're good. You talk about a guy who could loosen you up too a little bit. And maybe even preserve DeAndre Swift a little bit. That's another one too, Quan. Goddard should be a main target in the red zone. I still think they're figuring it out a little bit here. I do, man. Look, they're figuring out 20 to 20, but they have not figured out red zone. That's why, again, I think this is a great test for them. This is good. Now, do I think the Jets have a better defense than the Dolphins? They're underperforming the Jets. But I do think they do have better personnel. I want to see how this Eagle offense operates against this New York Jets defense. Look, I think their offense, they've got some really good skilled people, but they don't have very good power people. Their offensive linemen right now, it's not as good as even New England's. And New England doesn't have a very good offensive line. They don't. And they still were able to do things because they had quick hitch passes. I want to see a complete ball game. Okay? Or I never said the Rams would win. That's an absolute lie. Okay? I never said Hogan. Okay, I got you. Yeah. That's right. He may have said that. Okay, I got you, Jesus. Yeah, I have not said that the Eagles are going to lose any game yet so far this year. But I have said this about them, that they have kept every single team in games because of them not being able to have a red zone. When we hit our peak, nobody's running, beating us. Only team that is scary is the 49ers, literally. They're built like us. I would say this for you, though, NS, that you're not as deep as you were a year ago. And that's the one thing I look at San Francisco. San Francisco, I don't think has a deep roster right now. I don't think they could sustain a ton of injuries. Now, the Randy Gregory pickup is a good one because it strengthens your depth. And if I were Howie, I would be looking at some of the guys a little bit on strength of depth. I'd like to get Leonard Fournette in the building like we said the other day. Get Lenny in there. Leonard Fournette could catch the football. I think he'd be a great red zone back. See, you can read – LeGarrette Blount was redefined by the Patriots. I remember when he came to Tampa, and I was on the air in Tampa. Tone, you're going to love this, man. This kid was not drafted because of that unfortunate situation that he had at Oregon. I think it was the Boise State game. He knocked the kid out, and it was really ugly. And he didn't get drafted. People didn't like him for character. John Gruden, and I think it was Bruce Allen, and those guys signed him as a UDFA. He comes in the game, and that guy gained, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he had 1,000 yards in like 11 ball games or something. It was unbelievable watching him play. When you saw LeGarrette Blount. Am I right when I say that? LeGarrette Blount had 1,000 yards his rookie year with the Bucs. I was on the air, and I remember, and it was like 8-9 games or something crazy. And they had found this guy, and I'm like, this guy's a first-round draft choice. And the reason that they didn't make him a first-round designation was because of what happened when he was at Oregon, and he knocked that guy out. But I think Tony Dungy may have spoke for him because his kid played at Oregon or something like that. He was so amazing. Well, what happened? He started evolving into a short yardage back. Wasn't it 1 year up in New England? Hey, maybe even with you guys, how many TDs did he score in the red zone? They redefined him. I think he had like 17 touchdowns 1 year in New England. When he was running red zone, I think it was like 17. He just redefined himself and he was comfortable in that role. He even went to you guys and did the same thing. Leonard Fournette could be that kind of guy. As long as players are willing to adapt and adjust, you could extend players' careers for a long time, man. I mean, you totally can. Fournette is the only good inside the 5, but Jalen is better 5 tushes, 4 TDs. Fournette was 8 to. Hey, dude, I want to have both options. I want a power back and Hurts. Okay? I want a power back and Hurts. Cosmo brings a point up that someone brought up to me today. I'll continue this here a little bit about the Jets. And one thing about Purdy. You know, in 10 football games, that guy's got 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. You know that? Now, I know they're split up, 5 last year and 5 this year. But he's got 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. You find that number high and low? He's got 22 touchdowns and 4 picks. I mean, have you seen anything like that in your entire life ever? On what that guy's doing? Can you name me a guy that you ever – Brady had 12 interceptions his first year, I think. And his first full season. I think he had 12 picks. Have you seen anything like that in your entire life? And the time you've been following or covering football, where you've seen a guy in his first 10 starts start his career off like that? Nick Foles started his career like Brock Purdy? Wait, that was Foles' rookie year? Or his first 10 starts? He had 27 TDs and 2 picks. And his first 10 starts? I mean, really? That was Foles' first year? Have you ever that wasn't Foles' first year. Have you ever seen a guy in his first 10 starts throw up 22 touchdowns and 4 interceptions and not lose a ball game and play like the best quarterback in the league right now? That guy's delivering, man. That guy's delivering. He is playing the best quarterback of any, and you guys in Philly can't do this. Hey, well, you know, he's got great players around him. So does Jalen. You can't use that excuse. I mean, you basically have mirrors of the same offense. Tight ends hot, 2 wide receivers. You got probably a better O-line. They got better backs, in my opinion, than what the Eagles do. And they actually have a red zone offense. Marino? Okay. Sills, you just like Purdy because he is Purdy. No, I like him because he's winning and he's effective and he's efficient. Dude, what's his completion percentage right now on the season? He's got to be leading the NFL. I've never seen anything like this. I'm going to ask Seth when he hits the show. Have you ever seen a quarterback burst onto the scene and you guys bring up a good name, Dan Marino? Do you know this guy wasn't invited to any of the combines? He wasn't invited to any of the all-star games so he could put his talents on display. He wasn't invited to any of that. He wasn't invited to any. I've never seen, and before I get set on, I've never seen a quarterback in 10 starts have 22 touchdowns, 4 picks, not lose a ball game. Now, look again, I know it's fragmented because it's last year and this year. And I've never seen anything like it. His completion percentage is 72%. And this is what Seth and I were talking about the other night. You know, when you don't get to go to the combines and you don't get to go to all the all-star shows, you know what you can't do? You know what happens? You can't put your talents on display. That's what happened to him.